Hello everyone, it's Tania, Gabrielle, Wealth Astro-Numerologist. Welcome to your new moon partial solar eclipse in Cancer Astro-Numerology forecast. Now this one is important because it starts a series of 3 consecutive eclipses. Usually we only have 2, so this is quite rare, and it's going to make this summer really sizzling because eclipses really hold an energy that is intense and transformative. So this one in Cancer is so beautiful. Wait till you hear what's going on with the combination of stars. But first let me look at the date because it happens on July 13th. And that is universal time, by the way. That's in London. That's 3:48 a.m. in London. And the number 13 is associated with the moon because we have 13 lunar cycles in a year. We have 13 weeks in a season. So the number 13 is actually associated with the divine feminine, the cycles that the moon goes through, the natural earth cycles, right? So when we have an eclipse, which is a lunar solar event, happen on the number 13, the synchronicity makes it even more powerful, more intense. Now, in the Americas, it happens on July 12th, late in the day, at 10:48 p.m. Eastern Time and 7:48 p.m. LA time. But because universal time is the time we go by, that number 13 actually will affect all of us for this eclipse. Last month in June, we also had a new moon on June 13th. So the energy of the divine transformation, the balancing out of the feminine and masculine in all of us is continuing. Now, this new moon eclipse happens at 20 degrees in Cancer, and the number 20 is super sensitive. It's all about bringing things into balance, intimacy, relationships, peace. And 20 is made up of 2 and 0. And the 0 is the 0 point, the Alpha and Omega, the number of God, the number of bringing together the unseen and the seen. And Cancer is ruled by the moon. So this is very much about your feelings. This is a time to really feel empathy. Cancer and the moon govern motherhood and compassion and nurturing. It's the mother principle. So again, there's a feminine aspect here. There's feeling is fluid. Feelings are very watery, and Cancer is a water sign. And later you'll see how the water element is really emphasized during this eclipse. Now, any new moon solar eclipse is about planting new seeds, and it's about refueling you in some way. It's about laying a new foundation as you're reaching outward and vitality increases. And as we go towards the full moon, that's when we build and build and build, right? So let me now talk about the first really amazing event that happens. We have a grand trine, which is the most fortunate sacred geometric aspect in astrology. In this case, the grand trine is between the actual sun and moon eclipse, forming a trine with Neptune and a trine with Jupiter. And they're happening in the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So Jupiter trine Neptune, which forms one leg of this triangle, is active for most of the year. It's one of the defining transits of the year, and it brings many blessings. It is very creative, very loving, very much about extending happiness beyond where you could even imagine. It's very blissful, and it triggers your imagination, the flowering of your imagination and the flowering of abundance, because Jupiter expands fortunate events and Neptune reaches everywhere. So it's the expansion of abundance magnified, accessing higher wisdom in a natural, easy way, because Jupiter rules higher wisdom and Neptune is very spiritual. So you just feel really, really good with this trine. So it's being activated now by this eclipse in the 3 water signs. So your intuition and spirituality are so enhanced right now. It's really an incredible time to tune in at a soul level with Source, with the universe, and just create. Let that divine intelligence flow through you. You are really able to channel now, and in a way that is very pure, because water cleanses. Water, we bathe with water. Water is what we drink to clean the internal body and the outside our body. So it is really a beautiful healing element in astrology, the water signs. I'm going to get to another grand trine in a moment, but first I want to mention that there's one aspect that creates some tension, and it's always good to have a little tension, and that tense aspect is that Pluto is opposite the sun and moon. So the sun and moon are in this tight, obviously, eclipse, new moon eclipse, and Pluto is opposite them, and that brings a lot of emotional purging. Pluto transforms us. Pluto is life, death, rebirth. And Pluto is very powerful. It represents the structure that really controls how we decide to rule, how we decide to lead. So when Pluto is engaged with any lunar event, it transforms us from the inside out. And in this case, your home and family life is affected in a big way, and your relationships are affected in a big way because of the 20 degrees, the two people coming together, intimacy. So now here's the other thing. Your career is also emphasized because Pluto is in Capricorn and has been, will be for a long time. But Capricorn is the sign obviously opposite to Cancer. It's a cardinal sign, just like Cancer is. And cardinal signs really are about forward momentum and action. So Capricorn rules responsibility, it rules work, a good work ethic, being disciplined, paying attention to signs that come at the right time. Capricorn is governed by Saturn, which is Chronos, which is time, so it's like the timing is right, so, getting on with things. And it governs your career. So your professional and personal life, home life, are both affected by this powerful eclipse because of these transits that are happening. Now, Pluto's energy is very similar to the number 18. And 18 figures greatly in July because July is an 18 universal month in 2018. So we have double 18 energy going, and 18 is a number of release, letting go, stepping up into higher wisdom, getting more rest, focusing on healing. So when we combine this transformative Pluto opposite the new moon partial solar eclipse energy with the number 18, it really is about rebooting you energetically and empowering you. Pluto also encourages emotional assertion, okay? So there's a sense, Pluto rules Scorpio. So if you know the Scorpio energy, it gets very deep, very unconscious. It brings it to the surface so that we can look at the truth, and the truth then sets you free. Pluto is very similar to that energy. And it's a very powerful energy because you don't want to hurt people with the truth. You don't want to control people with the truth, which is the shadow side of Pluto and Scorpio. You want to come through and let the truth inspire you to lead in a conscious, wise, loving way. So the whole emphasis with this opposition being activated is that you release the past. Cancer really is involved here with, letting go of past paradigms here, releasing that emotional baggage. And you need to let it go in order to create space for new feelings, for new experiences, for new projects, right? That reboot, that revitalization energy of the eclipse. So you're laying some kind of new foundation in your life at this time. You're planting new seeds while refueling your own energy. You're making room for beautiful new creative energy that's going to totally revitalize you. And then to help with this process, we have a second grand trine, which is so unbelievable. It's so cool. This is so rare to have two grand trines in a lunar event. In a moon event. This second one is Venus and Uranus and Saturn are trying to each other in the earth signs. So we've got water and we got earth. And water and earth, the water trine and the earth grand trine, both of those grand trines are very harmonious with each other. Water and earth get along super well in terms of the elements. And in this case, Venus, Uranus, and Saturn in the earth signs means your dreams are fulfilled. Your dreams are manifested and grounded because it's earth when you are diligent and create a secure space for your creativity to flow, for you to be listening to your intuition, which is Uranus, beautifying your surroundings and feeling the luxury and pleasure of life, which is Venus, and also the love in your life. And then Saturn makes it all just work, right? Getting down to business. So this will, again, impact your career because Saturn's involved. Saturn rules Capricorn. We've got Pluto and Capricorn opposite the new moon. So Capricorn's really figuring into this whole Cancer new moon solar eclipse experience. So you want to allow any breakthroughs, breakups, anything to do with cracking you open. You need to allow that to happen so that the new vision that you see, the new window, the new view starts forming, and you can see into the glorious future and present that you hadn't perceived before, right? This is really exciting. So trust your intuition, be free to explore. That's Uranus. Venus makes it all productive and abundant, sense of love, generosity, beauty, very artistic. This grand trine is amazing. And I want you to also take a look at the eclipse chart on the right, so to my left. There are two equilateral triangles that are forming a six-pointed star. So this is really a star that's being born through these two grand trines in the earth signs and the water signs. Now there's one more transit I want to share that is wonderful, and that's between Neptune and Mercury. Neptune's at 16 degrees Pisces during this eclipse, Mercury at 17 degrees Leo. And they form what's called a quincunx or inconjunct. It's 150 degrees. And 150 degrees is what I call the genius aspect in astrology. And so in this case, the enlightenment arises through, you really feel enlightened through soul-inspired expression. So you want to disconnect around this new moon at some point from the run-of-the-mill, get things done, blah, 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 and listen, be quiet, be very sensitive, spend time in a sanctuary setting, whether it's at your home or in nature, somewhere you feel secure and emotionally uplifted. And you want to tune into other worlds, into other dimensions, to your guides, to the universe, to spirit, to source, and have an intimate conversation. And this is a brilliant time for you to unleash your inner genius. Okay, so really know that this is possible in so many ways. And since you're recalibrating, because this new moon eclipse is opposite Pluto, there's rebirth, there's recalibration, it really is a new chapter in your life. And remember, we're also mid-year now, right? We are starting July, which starts the second half of the year. So it's a celebration of the next 6 months. We're in 2018. I mentioned that earlier, but 2018 adds up to 11. That's the portal. New beginnings in many ways, and being present, completely present. So this new moon eclipse, the first of 3 eclipses, there's one more in July and one in August, is setting the stage for your second half of 2018 to be only lived in the present moment, where your imagination, your intuition, your creativity are completely focused on just this moment right now, because nothing else matters. The past cannot influence you when you are channeling, when you are present. When you feel timeless and you're doing something where you lose track of time, you are totally present. And that is the energy that we are tuning in more and more and more. And it allows for letting go naturally. Really, there's no effort when you are present. The healing happens super fast, in an instant, when you are present. Right? It is when we hang on to the past and want to do things the way we did before, that's when we run into trouble, because everything's changing so fast now. You actually cannot use those old ways that you've gotten accustomed to as a security blanket anymore. So, and that's a good thing, because adjusting to change takes being completely engaged in what's happening to you right now, So, and then you can be open, then you can be free, because you're not choosing based on what you've been told. You're basically making a choice based on being an independent, sovereign being. So it's such a gorgeous new moon eclipse, and I hope you love the energy as much as I do. That star that's in the heavens between the earth and water signs is like a gift that accompanies the eclipse. So, we're really being given something quite glorious on July 12th and 13th here. So And remember, I go through all the transits in the astrology and the stars and numbers between the lunar events. And you can tune in to those forecasts by clicking on this link. It'll take you to a page where you can sign up, and I send them to you. These are my free weeklies. I go through the theme of the week, the highlights of the week, so you can actually navigate the wonderful star codes between the new moon and full moon events. So I'll see you on those weeklies, and I can't wait to share the next eclipse video for you. So look out for that. It's coming. It's a total lunar eclipse. This is a total full moon eclipse, so stay tuned for that. It's really big, the end of July. And lots of love in the meantime. Bye-bye for now.